Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the brand new Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series 8613 Deluxe Class Cliffjumper. And this is a figure I've been out for quite a while. I did post on my community page that I found him at Target. I will post a little mini toy hunt of not me showing up, but of just me recording. And we're going to take a look at this figure, take a look at the packaging, the backdrop, the figure itself, the articulation, and whatnot. So let's take a look at the box. So if we take a look at the front part of the box, we can see it says 8613 BB, that's for Buzzworthy Cliffjumper. We get an animated Bumblebee, we get a Barrage, we get an Optimus Prime. I was not expecting this. I think this is from the Cyberverse universe. And then here we get the Kingdom RC art. So that looks really cool. 8613. On the back of the packaging, we see Cliffjumper in both bot mode as well as vehicle mode, and his iconic movie scene is the moon base destruction when Unicron destroys it, and Studio Series Jazz's iconic movie scene was also based on that. So later on in the video we'll touch base on what they could do together. He transforms in 19 steps. His bio says, as Moonbase 1 is reduced to scrap metal, Cliffjumper boards a ship in the attempt to escape the jaws of Unicron. So in the 1986 film, Cliffjumper and Jazz escape Moonbase 1 to try to escape Unicron from eating them and everything. Overall, he does eventually eat them, but they do not die. And on this side of the packaging, this is my favorite part of the packaging, not gonna lie. We get the 86 right here, Transformers the movie. We get a nice artwork of Cliffjumper right here, and note that there is no plastic shown right here due to the fact that Studio Series, they're now changing the boxes, so they're just probably gonna have this plastic thing or no plastic thing at all, similar to what we saw with the Studio Series Brawn, Ratchet, and Soundwave. So without further ado, let's take a look at what awaits us inside. And I will tell you that this figure is the same molds from the War for Cybertron Earthrise. So if you buy this figure, you will and you bought the War for Cybertron figure, you will expect the same thing. And this figure is actually one of the smallest among the Autobots. So that is what you can expect from this figure. After all, this is a really great figure. Let's take a look how he looks like outside the packaging. So here we have Cliffjumper, the smallest Autobot, out of the packaging. And what to say, he looks alright. However, even though he's like a popular Autobot, he is not the best in figure-wise. Overall, the overall look looks really nice. There are some minor flaws, but let's touch base on the flaws later. Just taking a look on the figure, we can see he looks very G1. The head sculpt looks extremely accurate. If we take a close look, we can see it look extremely accurate. I like how it looks like animation accurate. I believe it is on a ball joint. I will touch base on the articulation in a bit. We can see how the torso looks like. We have an Autobot insignia. I really do like this G1 colorization they're going for. It looks really nice. Right here we see Cliffjumper's arm. This looks really nice. It looks very G1. I really like that there's not that much hollow gaps except for this tiny one right here. And I am surprised that there was, in fact, wrist articulation. So I am really happy about that. And if you are wondering what this little port is here for, well, I just found out right now, surprisingly, that these ports are Blast Effect compatible. So you could attach a Blast Effect to these ports, and some of Blast Effects will give the impression that he got shot, or maybe something shooting out of him. Who knows? You could decide. But overall, this looks really great. The foot, we can see the Autobot insignia right there. We can see this is going to be the front part of the car, but we'll touch base on that later. And his backdrop, I will just put Cliffjumper to the side for now. His backdrop is actually the same one we get for 86 Jazz. So if you wanted to, you could have both of these figures right here. And speaking of smallest Autobot, like I said earlier, we can see how small Cliffjumper is compared to Jazz, which we'll touch base on that in just a bit. Now about his accessories, he does have 3, in fact. So here we have they all transform into like a missile launcher, so you can have them all have them connect into one giant thing. So I recommend getting this one. Then after that, you're just gonna get this piece, I believe. You're just gonna slide it in on that side or something, or I think it's this piece. But this really large missile thing, well, you could customize it in any way you want. I personally like to make tiny little blasters on Cliffjumper's hands, so that it gives the impression that he has more than just the big RPG weapon that he has, and it gives an impression that Cliffjumper is ready for battle and he could take down any Decepticons that stand in his way. So now that we took a look at Cliffjumper's accessories, now let's take a look at his articulation, which will touch base on one more accessory after the articulation. Right here we can see how Cliffjumper looks like in a front perspective, a side perspective, a back perspective, and another side perspective. Now, as far as articulation goes, he does in fact have a swivel joint and a hinge joint. The hinge joint on the shoulder, which makes his arm go outward, and then the other swivel joint right here makes his arm do a full 360. Right here we get a mushroom peg that makes his whole arm it could rotate 360. We get probably a 85-degree bend right there at the elbow. Right here we can see his whole wrist is completely articulated. I really do like how we are getting articulated wrists, hands, and everything on Deluxe figures. I really hope that's something we can see in the future. Right here he could split his legs open. He could kick that far and kick this far. His knee could bend around 90 degrees. His leg could pivot like a lot. So you could have him in this weird position right here, which looks really nice, but let's be honest, it looks sometimes a little horrifying. As far as the foot goes, it cannot go front or back, but it could go side to side. So and it can't swivel around. So that is the articulation of Cliffjumper. Overall, a really nice, decent articulated figure. And if you wanted to, you could remove this whole region right here, this backpack region, which is going to be the back part of the car. I think that this looks nice. We'll touch base on this later. You can remove that and have a kibbleless version of Cliffjumper. Honestly, to me, it doesn't look all that bad. I think without the kibble, from this angle, he looks alright. But when you turn on the back, you'll find just a big, ugly mess right there. So if you like looking at the back of figures, which is probably weird, I suggest keeping this on. So now that we take a look at the articulation, now let's take a look at how this figure compares to other classic G1 characters. So now we took a look at the figure, so now let's take a look at how he looks like with the other guys. And here's how he looks like with the other guys. Right here we have Jazz, we have Trax, and in the back we have Blaster. He's not showing his face just yet. I'll show him how he looks like later. This is the Legacy Blaster, by the way. So if you guys did see that post on my community page, yeah, a review is coming pretty soon. So back on Cliffjumper, we can see Cliffjumper is the smallest, and I mean the smallest of the Autobots. He is incredibly small. $20 a Deluxe class. I would have put him in the core class, transformed and all, but this guy is really small. If we compare him to the Bumblebee movie Sharkwave, we can see why he wasn't considered a core class. He didn't fit all the way. He wasn't at 3.5 inches. He was at 4 exact. Well, this guy's probably at 5. Cliffjumper is the smallest of the Autobots. Compared to Blaster, we can see Cliffjumper is near around lower torso region of Trax, I mean. And for Jazz, we can see Cliffjumper is just at his chest right there. And for Blaster, let's not even talk about Blaster. Blaster just dominates this guy. He's just at his thigh region, so we can see that almost a lot of figures in the Transformers G1 collection that I have are in fact bigger than this guy. So now that we took a look at how he looks like with the other figures, now let's turn to the transformation, and I did want to show you his other accessory. As we are gonna check into the transformation, I did want to show you how you could incorporate some of his accessories. So we can get this blaster that looks like this. We can see how it looks like, and then you're gonna get this piece right here. You're gonna get this hollow region right here, and then after that, you're just gonna pop in this piece right here onto this circular area. You're just gonna pop it in. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. You're just gonna pop this in right there. Now that is done, you can now open this region right here till it looks like this, and you can see how this piece does look like. It'll look very large, in fact, and then you could just peg it onto the side, I believe. Let me just find the port or something. I think you could peg it onto his arm right here. You could peg it onto his arm or something, but preferably I'd recommend just putting it on the side. I made a mistake. That was the wrong answer. You just plug it in probably right here at the arm right here. So I recommend that. It looks really nice, although it looks very peculiar how long it does look like. I personally like to choose to put it somewhere else, and I think if you align this properly right here, you could manage to put this piece in right here. I've struggled so much trying to put that in, but you could put that in right here. To separate, you just pull these two apart together, get this piece, fold it back into one single solitary piece. Now for these pieces, these pieces did in fact are like skis in vehicle form, and they could also work as posts for his bazooka form. So what we could do, you could get either one of the weapons and then attach this piece right here like so to make it look like this guy has some ammo on him, which honestly the blasters without ammo do not look like they are loaded. They just look merely like they are just like little pieces of plastic, but with ammo it gives them a little bit more detail and a little bit more character to the blasters and the figure itself. It looks nice. And then we could attach this piece right around this region. So just like how I tried to attach it earlier, you could try attaching it around here, but on the instructions it shows better how to attach it. I think you get this slot that's right here, and then you're gonna put it into this little crevice right here, this little crevice where my nail is. Just gonna put it in there. Gonna make sure it does in fact click into place, and then until he looks like this, I think Cliffjumper looks killer. He looks very cool with this. And one final combination I did want to show is all three of them combined together. So we can get this solitary piece, and then we could get, I believe, this piece. Wait, I'm sorry, this piece. You're gonna get this piece right here, and then you're gonna get that piece right there, and then you're gonna get these two post pieces right here. I believe you could attach them either way. You could. I prefer if they're more like this. Makes it look like there is a bit of a base right here, and it looks like a long cannon sometimes. I really wish they would have included 4 so I can include more right here to give it a bit more support. But overall, that is really nice. And for this area, it could act as a shield. So if you wanted to do so, you could just add this on his arm right here, and then this could be a shield or whatnot. But personally, I like to keep it on the back or even store it away. So now that we have done that, let's now take a look at how to transform Cliffjumper. This transformation is actually quite easy, yet a little bit complicated. So the first thing you're gonna have to do is remove this back region right here. After that, you're gonna put your attention toward the front side. Remove the whole area that has the Autobot insignia like that. We can even see nice little details on the interior, how it is sculpted right here and right here. I really do like how Hasbro does include minor details like that. Gives the figure more character. After that, we're gonna fix his head right here. Put this hood region up here, and then we're gonna close this like that till you hear it click. After that, you're gonna move his arms all the way back like if they got broken. You're gonna move them like that. After that, you're gonna rotate the entire arm like this till the hand side is pointing up. We're gonna do that as well on the other side. After that, you're gonna rotate the whole torso region. You're gonna rotate this, and that is one area of articulation has you could rotate the torso. So after you have rotated the torso, I recommend putting your attention toward this side. You're just gonna disengage this region right here, like so. Hold on. It is actually a little complicated to do since this figure is fresh from the packaging. I don't want to injure it so much. So you're just gonna move it like that. For my copy, for some reason, it was really hard to move it right here. So I'm not so sure if that's with everyone's copy or just mine. So after that is moved, you're just gonna make sure these two pieces do in fact fold like so. Make sure these two go like that, and then it kind of resembles a bit of a truck, although this guy is gonna turn into a car. Now to attach these pieces, there are two little slots right here, and there are two little pegs right here. So you're just gonna make sure they go inside right here. It's gonna lock into place right there. Once they're like that, try to keep them together. They'll try to detach, and it is incredibly difficult at times to put them in, but once they're in, I'm pretty sure they should stay intact. After you have completed that step, you're gonna now put your attention toward this top region. You're gonna lift this region upward like so. You're gonna lift it like that. Once that is lifted up, this whole region is lifted up, you're gonna put your attention towards this back part of the car. You're gonna unfold these pieces, revealing the wheels, and then after that you're gonna make sure that this piece does in fact fold like that. This piece folds like that as well. Then you're gonna move the wheels like so, and we can already see how the car is forming. After that, now that that is done, you're gonna flip this whole area up, attach these two pieces together like so. You're gonna attach them on these two tabs right here, and we can already see how the car is looking really nice. And then you're gonna click in the doors in place as well. There are two little slots right there, so you on the legs, so you're gonna attach them in like so. After that we can see how it is done, and honestly, like this, it looks kind of cool. Although it looks kind of like the car just got boom, it just something heavy fell on it. And then what we can do is we could get this, push in the tab right here, flip this like that, and then just slide this into place like so. Slide this into the arms, and voila, here we have Cliffjumper transformed into that little cute little car form. Honestly, this is my first time transforming it. I did not even look at the instructions at all. This was just all logical. This figure looks really nice transformed. Now this figure is actually really nice. However, that just because it's a nice figure doesn't mean it doesn't have its flaws. Most noticeably, the lack of paint on this figure has. I personally think this figure lacked paint just a little bit. I feel like maybe that this whole front region, they could have painted it a little bit better, added more highlights around these regions right here. Maybe at the back region, they could have painted the headlights. I mean, it wouldn't have costed Hasbro that much, but this is really honestly, I'm not disappointed in this figure after all. I thought this figure was not going to be that good. However, it has changed my heart. So now that you got this piece, you're gonna peg this inside the tab right here, and we have Cliffjumper's cannon ready. Honestly, it looks really cool. You can have this guy drive around shooting at the Decepticons at any distance, and I think anyways it's gonna look cool. Now another way to incorporate these two accessories onto Cliffjumper is turn your attention on the bottom side of Cliffjumper, and I think there is a small region around here which you could right here on the wheels. There's these two little tabs right here. You could attach these two right here, and I think this is supposed to represent some scene in G1 where he does in fact go on his skis or something, and then he is going somewhere. Or you could have this as a parking area. Who knows? You can make as much accessories as you want. I'm pretty sure there's a limit in somewhere, but you could have as much accessories as you want. Now comparing how Cliffjumper looks with other G1 Autobots. So here we have Jazz compared to Cliffjumper, and we can see that there is a major size difference. We can see Jazz is incredibly larger than Cliffjumper, and Cliffjumper is a small car, probably a honestly, I don't really know what kind of car this is. I want to say it's like those lemon cars, those rundown cars, but I don't think Cliffjumper would choose something. I feel like he would choose something really nice. And with both of these cars together, they look really nice. I like to visualize them driving through the streets, or we can have Cliffjumper in the back, Cliffjumper in the front. These two characters look extremely great together. So I really do like how this figure looks. Like the bottom of it closes really nice. The side of it looks nice. I just probably would have wished if they maybe added an Autobot logo right there. That would have been nice. Maybe on this side as well. But overall, this figure looks really cool. So now let me give you my final thoughts of this figure. So some final thoughts for the Transformers 8613 Buzzworthy Bumblebee early release of the Studio Series 86 Cliffjumper. Overall, this is a really nice figure. The transformation is simplistic. The paintwork, not as much as I expected. However, it results in a really nice figure. This figure may have some flaws. Every figure does. Not every figure is perfect. However, this figure is really nice. So I would recommend this if you are into the G1, or you want to complete your 86 collection, or if you're into G1. This figure has great posability, and it is very fun to play with. So would I recommend this figure? I would definitely would if you're into G1 and want to into your 86 collection. If you just want to complete the whole SS collection, you could do that as well. Or if you just wanted to get this guy just to get him, I'd recommend it. But just be careful. This figure is incredibly small. We can see how small this guy is. We can see he's about this small. So, a really small figure results in a really nice package. You could get this guy for $23-ish at Target. He's exclusive because he's part of the Buzzworthy line that Target is doing. You could get him at eBay for a price that's not worth it, and after all, this figure is small. So I recommend getting him at Target, the origin area, which you could get this figure at. So some final thoughts, I would recommend this figure, and it is a really, not a must-have, but a nice figure. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, leave a nice comment, and I will see you at our next Transformers Studio Series, War for Cybertron, or Legacy video. Until then, stay safe, protect yourselves, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching.